Hey, how's it going? Been a while. I've made absolutely no content for about a year now. We're back without any further ado. This isn't a clickbait title and it isn't necessarily the video that you think it's going to be. I'm going to give you guys a brief timeline of my Pokemon experience so you can understand what my credentials are. Like most people my age, I started with Pokemon first generation, yellow. Um, Friends of mine's had red and blue, but I initially started playing the Pokemon games with yellow, but was very much into Pokemon before that. I didn't come from a house where gaming was readily accessible right away, at least not Nintendo or Game Boys. I played Pokemon Yellow as if I was Ash. Had a level 100 Pikachu by the time I finished playing, and everything else was level 50. I don't think I even made it to Blaine, so I didn't really complete the game. Also, I didn't realize that you could stop Pokemon evolving, so Pokemon Sapphire next. That was the first time that I played Pokemon and really understood what I was doing. There was some guides that came in Pokemon World magazine that basically made me more than knowledgeable on Pokemon. Diamond and Pearl slapped, self-explanatory. I was the perfect age. The underground, the GTS. Me and the homies were trading and battling, and my little brother got an action replay. So that was the first generation where I really experienced shiny Pokemon, because he used the action replay to get us a bunch of shinies, and I had like every starter Pokemon from every generation so far in shiny form in that game. Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Some of the best games available for Pokemon, honestly. I actually would argue they are my favourite Pokemon mainline series games. All the new features, the fact that it had Kanto as well as Johto. Johto were some of my favourite Pokemon. And like the Pokemon following you in the ball, gimmicky, fantastic. Pokewalker, gimmicky, but fantastic. Which brings me to Black and White and Black and White 2. I'm going to lump them together for the sake of the timeline. Biggest map so far. Most new mons in a while. Some of them were kind of questionable. Heck of a story though. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was my golden age, if you will. I was 18 when they came out. I just finished school. I had like free adult time to myself. I was able to stay up late for Wonder Trade Wednesdays. You know, friends and I gambled over the state of Pokemon battles with cigarettes. I don't know why that's a golden age. I presented that like it was. Anyway, jeez, the nostalgia coupled with new made it so like perfect. Not to mention Rayquaza was readily available in the game. Sun and Moon, that's kind of where I fell off a little bit. My friends that had played Pokemon with me in the past, they were still hung up with Oras and X and Y. Basically, Sun and Moon was difficult for me. It was too hand-holdy, or it was difficult for me to enjoy because it was too hand-holdy. The only feature I remember genuinely liking was like the island scan, which, as far as I remember, is late game, and I really didn't play much late game. Obviously, I didn't play Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because I didn't really enjoy the experience in Alola. Okay, let's go. It is what it is. I played it. If this was a review, I would say something positive about some of the features that they brought in, but it isn't, so I'm not going to do that. Sword and Shield got less than my full attention. I borrowed it, didn't even own it, spewed in my mouth when they mentioned DLC. I didn't particularly interact with any of the new features like the raid battles or really get behind the Dynamaxing as a like function in battle, and kind of used that out of necessity. Also, I stopped playing the second I smoked Leon, which isn't really like me. Normally I'd finish a Pokemon game and rattle through at least 20 plus more hours minimum. More often than not, a completely new playthrough. But I didn't really care at all about Pokemon Sword and Shield. And then it was at that point I realised Pokemon and I had drifted. Like a married couple in their 40s, the spark was gone. No amount of vibrators or fetish gear is going to bring it back. Oh, bro. I need to stop making it sound like I fuck Pokemon. At the time of recording this video, I have about 20 hours in Pokemon Scarlet. I do plan to finish the story, mostly in a I've known you long enough that I kind of owe you it capacity, not in a passionate to finish the game kind of way. And with that in mind, for me, Pokemon no longer feels like the joyful escapism that it once was. It's now like an old friend. I love Pokemon, but I'm not in love with Pokemon. I said some time ago that I didn't want to become a PokeTuber, and at the time I had some sort of part-baked excuse about how it was low-hanging fruit. It isn't. Some of my favourite YouTubers are PokeTubers, but I noticed something. They're mostly playing, or at least I'm mostly watching, older games or ROMs of older games or fan-made stuff. It hadn't managed to excite me in a while. I had a line in here about how it hadn't gotten me off in a while, and I had to do it myself, imagining when it was a younger, hotter franchise, but I'm going to just tell you about it instead of delivering that line. One of the things that I think is missing as an adult is the imagination. I think one of the initial draws of Pokemon was the mystery, and that could be anything from Mew under the truck that wasn't there to what Pokemon appeared in what grass. I had no concrete idea what that looked like as a kid. You couldn't just Google it. Just mystery in general, and I think as well, imagination. When I was younger and I played Pokemon, although it was 2D pixel art, my brain gave it this like living, breathing world, you know? I mean, they built the world, my brain just attached imagery to it, and I think when you're a kid, it's easy to get really roped in, imagine it. Now, the worlds have kind of caught up visually to what you imagined them as a kid, but as an adult, the imagination isn't there to patch up the gaps. Another thing is I'm 26. I don't have enough time to play Pokemon, which is sad. You'd think as an adult you'd have the time. So this isn't necessarily a goodbye to Pokemon. This is a... You know, I'd still show up if something happened, you know what I mean? Like, if they needed me. That's how friends work, you know? And you may have noticed I didn't mention Pokemon Legends Arceus once in that video, and I played it a lot. This is because I absolutely love that game, and I think it kind of exists in a criticism-free sort of bubble outside of the mainline series because it was trying to do something different, and it achieved it. I think there's promise for Legends Arceus to receive a sequel, to receive like a series. I think it could work. Legends Arceus, beautiful game. And that's going to do it for today. Sorry, this is just a short one. I am trying to learn a new video editing software. Hopefully this looks nice and sounds okay. If you like the video, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, get in the comments, tell me why I'm wrong. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you like that Pokemon content, I have previously made a ranking video of 151 original Pokemon. If this video gets 10 likes, I'll do a smasher pass on all of the new Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. Because clearly I have a fucking problem.